flight 2147.
Southwest 2123, airport 12 o'clock, 22 miles.
We have the airport in sight, South 2123.
Southwest 2123, cleared visual approach, runway 26 left, maintain 190 knots until advised.
190 knots still advised, cleared visually to 26 left, Southwest 2123.
Global Express 17 Romeo, contact approach 125.6.
125.6, 917 Romeo.
Volunteer 3201, turn left heading 350, vector visual approach.
Heading 350, volunteer 3201.
Well, approach up 1703 is 9.5 for 8, and one direction.
1703 approach, roger.
Arrival, this is Super 804, we are descending 10,800 to 8,000 via the Sunset 4 arrival.
Frontier 2147, contact Las Vegas Tower 119.9er.
To the tower, Frontier 2147, good day.
Swoop 804 approach at 8,000, reduce speed to 170.
Can you say again for Swoop 804?
Volunteer 3201, turn left heading 290, join the localizer, maintain 5,000.
F290, join the localizer, maintain 5,000, volunteer 3201, we have the airport.
Swoop 804, how do you hear this transmission?
515, Swoop 804.
Swoop 804, thank you, at 8,000, reduce speed to 170.
At 8,000, slowing at 180, Swoop 804, we have the airport in sight.
170.
170, Swoop 804.
Volunteer 3201, cleared visual approach, runway 26 left, maintain 170 knots until reland.
Clear for visual, 26 left, 170 to reland, volunteer 3201.
Delta 1703, join at Preno, cleared visual approach, runway 26 left, 210 knots or greater until advised.
Alright, cleared visual at Marino, and 210 and greater until advised.
Volunteer 3201, contact tower 119.9er.
19 knots, volunteer 3201.
Southwest 2123, maintain 170 knots until reland.
170 to reland, Southwest 2123.
Vegas Spirit 260 with you at a 10.5. Howdy.
Spirit 260 approach, roger, reaching 8,000, reduce speed to 170.
8,000, slow to 170, Spirit 260.
Southwest 2123, contact Las Vegas Tower 119.9er.
Have a great day, Southwest 2123.
Swoop 804, after the speed reduction, descend and maintain 5,500.
Swoop 804, after slowing to 170, descending to 5,000.
Swoop 804, after the speed reduction, descend and maintain 5,500.
After speed reduction, descending and maintaining 5,500, Swoop 804.
Clear wings 260, after speed reduction is complete, descend and maintain 5,500.
Alright, down to 5.5 after the speed reduction, Spirit 260.
Las Vegas approach, Southwest 683 is descending via the arrival Sunset 4, passing 10,600.
Southwest 683 approach, amend altitude, cross NIPSO at and maintain 900,000.
Cross NIPSO and maintain 900,000, Southwest 683.
Delta 1703, maintain 170 knots or greater until reland.
170 or greater until reland, Delta 1703.
Delta 1295 approach, roger. Swoop 804, descend and maintain 5,000, turn left heading 350.
Same maintain 5,000, left heading 320, so 804.
Con 2499, circuit departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000.
Switch screens while I sign in real quick. Be right back. gonna go with 126 passengers. Some brief calls for 60,100 minus 52,828. 8272. $60,100 and 30.2.
430 Echo Papa, Liberty Tower, runway 6,
6132. Alright.
Double 2499, runway heading 070, factor 10.
Uh, 3624. I wish I could click on the actual plane. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, here's JetBlue. So this guy is going to, I just saw it, JFK. And he's departing at 12:30. It's 12:30 local, and that's pretty cool, right on time. And arrivals, this guy is 3345. He's coming from San Diego at 12:45. He's actually early, unless he's supposed to be at the gate at 12:45. APU gens available. Turn that off. Get rid of that. All right. So we're gonna come down here. Altimeter is 3003. Taking off 8:19, 19. What's the winds? It's 5 knots. I'm guessing 26 right. I'm still gonna plan for 26 right because the wind is only 5 knots. There he goes. It's like they're landing. I'm gonna have to go in and like edit these airports, the flows that I know that PilotEdge uses, because I'm gonna have to get rid of all these CSLs on takeoff, because I'm gonna probably end up taking off head to head with someone, but it's okay. It's give and take with these plugins.
1785, contact Oakland Center 1, I'm sorry, contact Los Angeles Center 124.62. Stock on 2499, when I will clear direct to Canard. Southwest 1785, Los Angeles Center, thank you.
We are at Terminal 3, Gate 14.
Southwest
Right here.
1785, just confirm you did receive a decline, correction, vicinity star instruction.
So this bottom GPS coordinate is what we need to verify. We're good until January 3. Las Vegas to John Wayne. $36.51. 15.84. We are ready to get clearance here shortly. ATIS 132.4.
John Wayne ground, Skyhawk 7886 November, and ECI ready to taxi. Instructions.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha. Las Vegas McCarran International Airport. ATIS information Alpha. 1856 Zulu. Wind 080 at 5. Visibility 10. 25,000 scattered. Temperature 12. Dew point -2. Altimeter 3003. Arriving runways 8 right, 19 left, 19 right. Departing runways 8 left, 19 left, 19 right. Visual approaches in use VFR departures. Contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha. Las Vegas McCarran International Airport.
Thought I heard someone taxiing around me. So I don't care, like, I'm gonna have to download WED and get these airport flows set up the way that I know PilotEdge likes to have them set up. Do we have a traffic jam situation over here?
Stock on 2499, SoCal approach, Ontario altimeter 3006.
It might work out depending on because they're taking off this way.
After Homeland, to maintain 6,000.
And the winds are 5 knots, so I need to change this. 090. I need to change it to where they use the 26 right up to 10 knots, and then they can switch to this one. Okay. Clearance is 18.0. We're on clearance. Ground 121.1. So we're on clearance. GPS is primary. We'll clear that out. Going to John Wayne. Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Clearance United 1399 at the terminal. Current with Alpha. IFR John Wayne. She's probably looking at my flight plan.
United 1399. United 1399, Las Vegas clearance cleared at John Wayne Airport. Boat departure wake transition as filed. Climb via SID, squawk 6316.
Cleared to John Wayne via Boat departure wake transition, then as filed. Climb via the SID, squawk 6316, United 1399.
United 1399, way back correct. DOCOM 2499, reduce to 210, say approach request. DOCOM 2499, expect that. Southwest 1785, contact Los Angeles Center 128.6.
Wonder where this guy is coming from. So he is 872.
Southwest 1785, Los Angeles Center.
He's coming from Los Angeles. He says gate E15. It's not E15. Oh yeah, it is. It is E15. I'm at 14, so that, yeah, that's right. That's pretty cool. We just watched him come in. All right, so we're good up to 260. So I'm gonna plan 26 right, because that's normally what it is. And we're gonna do the boat
2499, craft Pettis at 4,300,
wig
cleared I left
transition.
26 up to port.
And then plan the RNAV Zulu 20 right.
John Wayne Tower,
From the
Skyhawk
Disney
786
4.
November, holding short of 20 left at Kilo, ready for
That's
departure.
from Disney. what's the transition? Fila.
7886 November, John Wayne Tower, wind 0303, runway 20 left at Kilo, clear for takeoff.
Alright, we're good there. So we'll jump to
Skyhawk 786 November, cleared to take off, 20 left.
Wind, weight, oh, 6132. Fuel. .9, 2680. MDA for the approach is 377. That's taken from .377. So we're gonna shoot for 2682 to Rebel. Roper at 7, so that's fine. Road, Boach above 13, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, to be above 13 by Boach. And then we're going to break off the wig, so all that looks adequate. Alright, so let's come over here. I hear another plane. It's a busy airport. That's why I bought this plugin. I guess he'll probably disappear eventually. Unless he's on the schedule to take off again, which could be possible. It's WestJet. DGC. So he's going to Lester Pearson International. Departed at 12:45. Cool. Alright, so I need get rid of that, and I need takeoff weight. And this is not calculating the actual fuel, because I did it at the top, so I need to add that together. And the fuel was 4.9 originally, so we'll say 4.8 because that's what it will be on takeoff. So 4,800 plus 60,100 is 64.9.
Southwest 1785, contact circle approach 119.6.
Alright, So let's come over here.
Gag 86 November, contact SoCal departure.
Going to departure, Skyhawk 7886 November.
Back on 2499, you're next in line. Contact
Temperature's
Oxnard Tower
12,
120.6.
300309. And takeoff weight, it's 143.
2499 on the I left 26 left.
080.
Back on 2499, Ontario Tower, runway 26 left, clear to land, wind 2407.
Clear to land, runway 26 left, outcome 2499.
It's 26 right.
7886 November, SoCal departure, radar contact, turn left heading 100, turn Victor 23.
259.
Southwest 1785, clear Caliper, San Diego, altimeter 3010. Confirm you have Bravo. Are you looking for the RNAV or localizer approach today?
64 for the temp. 161 across the board for takeoff. V speeds right there.
Southwest 1785, expect RNAV Zulu runway Trump-Quom, contact SoCal approach 124.35.
Down here to Perf and 161.
Southwest 1785, SoCal approach on 124.35.
64 is the D-rated takeoff. Alright, so we're good there. Turn on the fuel pumps. We're going to climb via the SID, so that is where's the top altitude on this?
1785, SoCal approach San Diego, altimeter 3010. I'm assuming you meant Comics 2 arrival at Clone, cleared RNAV, X-ray, correction, Zulu, runway 27 approach.
Maintain flight level 190. So that's our top altitude. So we'll go
Stock on 2499, taxi to Bucking via Sierra. Have a wonderful day.
at level 190. Turn that on.
Southwest 1785 established. Final contact tower 118.3.
Say goodbye to my little friend. So we're going to go to hydraulics because the brake pressure is low right here. So we'll pop that out. I think I need to update my video driver. Having little micro stutters after the Windows update. Turn that on to 3000, which is right there. So that fixes the brakes and everything's in the green.
Good morning. Bravo with Hotel Northbound Tower Route to Long Beach.
So the flight plan is pretty standard. Do the boat 8, take off this way. Gotta be between these two altitudes at Roper. Gotta be above 13,000 at Boach. So if the line is underneath, that means you gotta be above. If the line is above, that means you gotta be below. If the line is both above and below, then you gotta cross it at that specific altitude. Same thing with any type of speeds. So we're not going to use this fix, but if we did, we would be at 230 knots or below. And then we're going to do the Disney 4 arrival into the LA area.
Through 646 Charlie Bravo, clear to Long Beach Airport. On departure, fly runway heading. Radar vectors Quang.
Doing that Disney
Santa Barbara,
from
Papa
Fila.
5
So
Texas.
where's Fila? Here it is from
Maintain
Fila.
3,000, expect 5,000, 1
And then we
minutes after
will
departure. Departure
follow
frequency
these.
120.55.
See, here's a restriction of 14,000 at
6541.
Aspen. And then at Disney, we're going to pick up the RNAV. If I change my mind, if I want to do an ILS, then we'll
0.55 and squawk 6541.
6,000 until the SLI Vortec. Alright. So 26 right after Disney, proceed on the RNAV RNP runway 20 right approach of, if unable to approach after Disney, maintain 6,000 direct to the SLI VOR and hold. So I'm going to request the ILS 20 right if the minimums are super bad. Otherwise, I'm planning to do the RNAV from Disney. So
ground municipal clearance, November 316 Papa Whiskey, looking to
that
pick
would
up
be
IFR to Long
this
Beach.
one, which has a pretty cool routing. So from Disney, 8,000, and then 6 at Bonvi, and then Deck Rat, or whatever that is, and then from here to this waypoint, and then we'll come on in. And then minimums is 400 radar. So as long as the cloud is, because right now you can see everything is blue, so the minimums at John Wayne right now is broken at 2,800 above, so we should be fine to do this, but we can get lower with an ILS, which has a minimum of 200 radar. So I can get lower by 200 feet if I need to by using the ILS, but otherwise the RMP approach is my preference. It's more fun.
3,000, expect 6,000,
it's easy.
minutes after departure. Departure
so
frequency
that's
119.6.
That's the flight plan.
Clear to departure, runway 26 right departure procedure to Mission Bay. Then it's filed. Altitude 3,000 feet, expect 6,000, 5 minutes. Frequency, departure frequency 119.6 and squawk 5274 for 316 Papa Whiskey.
36 Papa Whiskey, be backtracked.
Clear out these warnings. Do a FADEC check next. Engine displays are working.
Limburg Tower, Southwest 1785, just outside Rebo, RMP Zulu 27.
Southwest 1785, Limburg Tower, runway 27, clear land with variable of 4.
Clear land 27, Southwest 1785.
Yes, Captain. We are waiting for your instruction. Ground to flight deck. All holds and hatches are closed. Walk round complete.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, so we need to update the fuel to match what we currently have, which is 4.8. So we're going to go to init page 2. Update the fuel to 4.8. That will adjust our times. We'll leave it there so we can get our CG for trim takeoff, which we will need this document shortly. Do a check on our fires.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Yeah, 190. Still taking off the other way.
Tow connected and bypass been inserted. Release parking brake.
I don't think there's anyone I'm going to back into. Okay. So we will do beacon on.
Starting pushback. And you may start engine.
Roll on 2. I wonder if I can request to go the other way.
Nah. Southwest 1785, left at Bravo 7, we're going to gate 4.
Scattered. Temperature 12. Dew point -2. Altimeter 3003. Arriving runways 8 right. 19 left. 19 right.
Bravo, see you later.
Departing runways 8 left. 19 left. 19 right. Visual approaches of VFR departures. Contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha.
Still good with Alpha, nothing's changed weather-wise, so all of my perf data is still good.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
There's 7886 November, SoCal approach, Palomar altimeter 3006. After Oceanside, fly heading 165, Dr. Brown Airport.
Oxygen's working. Trim 29.5. So we'll go with down 0.3.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Check our controls. I think I'm messing up his push.
Ground municipal ground. Centurion 316 Papa Whiskey looking to taxi to the active.
Get all that lined up.
Centurion 316 on the Whiskey Brown ground, runway 26, right? Taxi by Golf
Turn
and
that
Delta.
on.
Information Delta's current.
Go ahead and squawk. What is our squawk? 6316.
Golf and Delta. Centurion 316 Papa Whiskey.
Taxi around this guy. Guess I should have gone the other way. Holy, no, my steering is, this hasn't happened in a while. Just tried the, I have no steering. Dang damn it. Means I have to do state. I haven't had to do this in a while. Alright, here goes nothing. Hopefully it doesn't crash the sim. Which it could, because it's got a bunch of plugins running. It's been a while. I haven't had the steering brake on me in a while. But this is the only way to fix it unless you do an entire restart. Which I'm really not in the mood to do, so hopefully this works. Nope.
Santa Barbara ground Cessna 646 Charlie Bravo, north ramp,
I have no steering.
To taxi 25.
Great. Just great.
646 Charlie Bravo, Santa Barbara ground, runway 25, taxi via Juliet.
25 via Juliet, 646 Charlie Bravo.
Let's try the autosave, which would have been 5 minutes before that. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to make a new flight. Fuzzy Bear, thanks for the follow there, bud. Sorry about this hiccup. It does happen. It's a bug with the better pushback with this airplane. I might have pressed the no. All right. Let's disconnect. Disconnect. Cancel the flight on the project flight and do flight configuration. We're gonna go E14. And whatever. Just start it over. It happens. I just won't dawdle with the startup. Man, that irritates me when that happens. Usually that works. Usually. I'm gonna load this real quick because I already pretty much know what it needs. So what is this? 4 point, I'll just leave that. 126, perf is 61. Come up here, turn on the fuel. Oh, yeah. Bounce this up to 9. Turn that on. Passengers are loaded. I need to get the APU going. How irritating. Alright, I need to get my weather injector going again.
November 6 Charlie Bravo, turn left, heading 180.
Blowing right through these things. Flight plan, I need to set this up. Luckily this is all still here. We are at 14, so loss to that. $36.51. $15.84. And while I'm here, we'll do 26 right, Boach 8, wig transition.
November 6 Charlie Bravo, clear direct plane.
For ILS 20 right, Zulu, Disney 4, Disney, Fila, I think. Yeah. Alright, so temporary and get rid of the disco. Wind. Weight 6132. 4.8 it will be. Perf 2680. 200. Approach is 377. 560. We are at 3004, I think. Double check it, but that's the same. We'll start that. Start that. Seatbelts. Close this window. This mouse lag is driving me up the wall. Perf 161. 64. We'll double check that before we get out of here. Fuel pumps on. That's still aligning. Okay. Autopilot is 19 or 0. Turn that on. Turn that off. Get rid of that.
For 7886 November, advise you have information Echo. And
Hydraulics are low. Bring them back up to 3,000.
November, clear direct.
6032, so that's all still the same.
Cleared straight in. Turn out, runway 8 left approach.
Pre-plan.
Ground to
It's already
cockpit.
done.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
In at page 2. Leave it there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have closed the stop warning jar for staff event. All customers must be seated with their seatbelt securely fastened. Please ensure your seat back is upright. Tray table is open. All current items are completely placed on the seat.
Sometimes if you hit the rudder pedals while this thing's connected, because you'll see where it will displace the locking mechanism for the steering, and sometimes it leaves it unlocked. So if you hit the rudder pedals while this thing's connected, it can cause you to lose the steering. That's what happened, I think. Hasn't happened in a while.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Ginnigans, hey bud. How you doing today? Squawk. 6316.
And flight path been inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
There's someone taking off. Alright, I'm taking my feet off my rudder pedal just to make sure. And See, the nose wheel steering is disengaged, and there's a bug that leaves it disengaged even after it pulls away. There goes that United guy again. I guess he's leaving now? The time's later, so that would make sense. Oh, what a pain in the rear end. See, it doesn't take long for me to get this thing up and going. I just usually take my time. Now I'm trying to catch up. Hopefully that guy doesn't push into us.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow.
See, now it went away, so hopefully we'll have steering after this. Got 2 good engines. Sounds like he's getting louder. Yeah, it's because he pushed into me.
Tow is disconnected and white gas bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
29 down 3. Alright, so now I should have steering. Yes, I do. It's just a bug with that pushback. If you use the rudder at all with the pushback connected, you have a very good chance of messing up the steering, obviously. But we are back in business.
Right. Arriving runways 19er left, 19er right, 26 left. Departing runways 19er left, 19er right, 26 right. Visual approaches in use VFR departures. Contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and have short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Bravo. Las Vegas.
Okay, we're off. He should start taxiing now.
Skyhawk 646 right, Bravo, traffic at 1 o'clock, 2 miles, same direction, 5,600 indicated, type unknown. Bravo, traffic appears to be overtaking you, should be no factor. Skyhawk 86 November, contact Brown Tower, 128.25. Brown Tower,
Tower, Skyhawk 7886 November, descending through 3000.
It's like they're still taking off on the
7886 November, Brown Tower, runway 8 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 8 left, 86 November.
San Luis ground, Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot, located at the transient line, information Echo, Quest taxi VFR to the south, and this will be for the Cat 4.
Aircraft calling again.
Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot, currently located at transient parking. Information Echo, request taxi. We are VFR to the south, and this will be for the Cat 4.
Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot, runway 29 taxi via Alpha.
Okay, runway 29 via Alpha for 8148 Foxtrot. Brown Municipal Tower, Centurion 316 Papa Whiskey, holding short, runway 26 right, ready for departure.
Centurion 316 Papa Whiskey, Brown Tower, hold short, runway 26 right, Brad Barley.
Holding short, 316 Papa Whiskey.
Las Vegas ground, United 1399, ramp hold number 1, current with Bravo, rated to taxi.
1399 Las Vegas ground, runway 26 right, taxi via Charlie and Bravo.
26 right via Charlie Bravo, United 1399.
November 3 Papa Whiskey, it's going to be a few minute wait. I've got traffic on about a 5 mile final landing for runway 8 left, so we're going to have to wait till he gets out of the way first.
The AI is taking off the other way, but that's fine. I'll just turn off the CSLs when we go to take off.
Whoever's looking for the I-4 rating, I get your call sign, but your destination airport is going to be
What's up,
Santa Monica
Deso?
Airport.
How you doing today, man?
Copy Santa Monica Airport, November, 170 Bravo.
Had
646 Charlie Bravo.
an issue with the steering a few minutes ago. Better Pushback has a bug with this that if you hit the rudder pedals at all when it's being pushed back, it can mess it up.
If you can maybe land shorter, it could be
So
like
I had to restart the flight.
Holding short 26 right in the opposite end. I don't want you guys going nose to nose on taxiway.
Which is crazy because I started this like an hour ago and I haven't even got off the ground yet. It's alright, we're on our way. Alright, departure.
646 Bravo, want to go approach, want to go altimeter 3005.
Approach 8, 125, 9, okay. So we are at Tower 19.9, departures 125.9, check my takeoff data. Shows 12.
San Luis Tower, Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot, holding short runway 29 at Alpha, VFR to the south.
All that's good. Do a takeoff config test right here. Systems are normal. Strobes,
Cirrus
landing
8148
lights.
Foxtrot, San Luis Tower, make left close traffic, runway 29 clear for takeoff.
And
Okay, Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot actually looking just to depart
turn that
the
off for
area
a moment.
VFR to the south.
Cirrus 48 Foxtrot, apologies, runway 29 clear for takeoff after departure, proceed southbound.
Auto brake signs,
Okay, clear
spoilers,
for
flaps,
takeoff, and
takeoff,
after departure,
packs.
proceed southbound for Cirrus 8148 Foxtrot.
2998. Las Vegas Tower, United 1399, on short, 26 right.
Yeah, 1399 Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff, wind 0804.
26 right, clear for takeoff, United 1399.
316 Alpha Whiskey, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
26 right, clear for
All
takeoff,
right,
316
let's go.
Alpha Whiskey.
Approaching 26 right.
Packs off.
And gentlemen, clear. Number 172 Sierra Papa with information might request IFR clearance to Santa Monica Airport.
On
50% power.
runway 26 right.
For 172 Sierra Bravo, gentlemen, clearance, looking for the I-4.
Takeoff power is set.
Roger that. 20 Bravo.
Airspeed's alive.
And Vision
80
Jet
knots.
172 Sierra Bravo, cleared to Santa Monica Airport after departure. Fly heading 175. Radar vectors, Seal Beach is filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect 8,000 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1. Squawk 7432.
B1, we're gonna rotate.
Clear to Santa Monica Airport. After departure, fly heading 1.
Positive rate, gear coming out.
Radar vectors to Seal Beach, kind of filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect 8,000 5 minutes after departure. The departure frequency 128.1, squawk 7432, Vision Jet 20 Bravo.
Climb thrust. Auto
Vision
powered
20
on.
Bravo, read back correct. Yeah, 1399, count of departure.
Over to departure, United 1392. Packs on, spoilers unarmed, and we're gonna go to departure 125.9er. Las Vegas departure, United 1399, Boche 4000, climbing via the SID.
Yeah, 1399 Las Vegas departure, radar contact.
Now that I'm back in the air, turn that back up because the flows were definitely backwards, but that's okay. Need to work on that. We have to hold at each top altitude 7,000 at Roper, so that's why we're
Centurion 6
holding up.
kind of departure.
And we're holding at 250 because we're under 10,000 feet. We'll climb again after Roper. Thanks for the follow there, Mr. Rogue Commander. Cool name, by the way. I like that. Good flight. Currently studying for my instrument license. Any tips for studying and reading material?
1100 for 3000.
Honestly, I'm not a real-world pilot. I have the knowledge as a real-world pilot when it comes to ATC type stuff.
Climb maintain 6000.
But,
Centurion
you know, when it comes to like textbook stuff, I'm not, like, I don't have a real-world license. This is what I do in substitute of real-world trying to get my license. So I do know what I'm doing to some degree. So for study material, I can't really answer that because I'm not an instrument rated real world pilot. I'm instrument rated through VAT USA and PilotEdge, but I'm not in the real world. So the way that I learn all this stuff is by watching YouTube and streamers. So you're doing the right thing, you know, by asking questions. So really, with me at least, if you have a question that is specific to something, you know, like a SID or a star or the correct phraseology when you're talking to ATC or, you know, climbing via the SID or, you know, stuff like that. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. But to tell you, you know, any tips for studying and reading material, I'm really not the best streamer for that. I do fly every single day online on PilotEdge, and I fly VATSIM a lot in the evenings. So I do have a wealth of information, as most of my followers can attest to. But I just don't want you to think that I'm, you know, an expert, because I'm not. But I will do my best to help you if you have a question. And I love the sim. This to me is like the best thing, you know. Thank you. Sid,
Los Angeles Center 134.65.
Los Angeles Center 134.65, United 1399.
November 6, Papa Whiskey, low altitude alert. The MVA in your area is 2,100. You climb maintain
3465, going to LA Center. We're still on a published departure SID with the Boach 8. So I have to check in and let them know I'm still on the Boach 8, even though it's a center.
November 6 of Whiskey, Roger. Are you able to maintain your own terrain obstruction clearance from your present altitude up to 3,000?
I'm going to hold the speed at 300 for climbing purposes.
Of Whiskey, Roger. Just asking, are you able to not hit anything between where you are and 3,000?
And
Roger.
SIDs and stars are confusing at the beginning. Is just a matter of knowledge what everything means and what peripherals do you use. Yes, I agree, and I can help you out with SIDs and stars. Let me check in with this guy real quick. Los Angeles Center, United 1399, Boach 8, leaving 14,600, climbing via the SID.
Yeah, 1399 Los Angeles Center, climb maintain flight level 230.
Climb maintain flight level 230, United 1399. So he told me to climb above the published altitude of flight level 190. So that means he has essentially removed me from the height restriction. So the next time I check in, I don't have to say what SID I'm on. I only have to say the altitude that I'm currently passing through and the altitude to which I was last assigned, which would be flight level 230 for the next one.
Straight in. And airport a 3-mile final.
Just turn off the terrain radar, we'll turn on weather radar.
November 6 of Whiskey, it appears you're climbing now. Is the issue resolved?
So peripherals, I guess you mean by my hardware. So I have a yoke. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, let me grab this camera. So I have a yoke. The video is like 10-second delay, so I'm trying to. Alright, yoke, and I got a throttle quadrant over there, and I have a SATEC radio panel, which I like a lot just because I deal with ATC. And I got my big monitor there. I got my phone for my checklists, and I have my backup monitor. So I've got like a cheap man's cockpit, you know. Standard at flight level 180, transition altitude. So those are my peripherals or my hardware, however you want to say it. Seatbelts can go to auto. We're high enough now. Let's check the pressure. Cabin pressure is fine.
United 1399, kind of Los Angeles Center 133.2.
Los Angeles Center 133.2, United 1399. So we're going to go to 133.2. Los Angeles Center, United 1399, flight level 202 for 230.
United 1399, Los Angeles Center, climb maintain, flight level 260.
Climb maintain, flight level 260, United 1399.
Number 41,
all the way up unrestricted.
Oxnard ground. Runway 25.
You found them in the info section. Yeah, that's good. I didn't even think of that. But who is this ATC other than sim players? So the ATC you're talking to, and that's really cool. Thanks, man. The ATC I'm talking to is PilotEdge, just like Ginnigan says. They're pay controllers. I'm just repeating what Ginnigan says for the YouTube people. PilotEdge are pay controllers. They're not real world, but they are specially trained, and a lot of them are real world pilots. That's very true. Some of them came from VATSIM, and then they go through an extensive training program for PilotEdge. So PilotEdge is, like Ginnigan says, is payware. So let me show you their website real quick. So this is the live map. I'll show you that.
Right, taxi via Bravo, Kilo.
This is their service area. So you're guaranteed ATC 15 hours a day in this. So this yellow section is the Western Expansion Pack. That's $20. The ZLA, which I'm currently flying in, is $20 if you do it individual. If you get them both, which is what I did, then you get a discount. So for this whole thing, it's $35 a month. Totally worth it. You're guaranteed ATC. And they have extensive training, free training. They have seminars. They have flight instructors, commercial education. I mean, it's in, here's pricing. So, and then this is everybody that's flying. And then you have drones, which are VFR recorded flights. So all these are recorded flights that are actually flying around in the air that you can see. And ATC will give you radar services to avoid colliding with these VFR people. So it's very, very well done. I highly recommend it, especially if you're learning and if you want to get ratings and if you want to get used to talking on the microphone and using real world process. Then PilotEdge will be likely your new home, as it is mine. Oh, I need to put it back to the, sorry about that. Screen will come back in a second. That is really cool. Let me see what I missed here. Actually, they are real controllers. Many went to school for ATC. So a lot of them are, I mean, I look at the PilotEdge controllers as real ATC controllers because with the knowledge, regardless of what their background is, with the knowledge that they have in PilotEdge, they could go work at JFK and do just fine. Like, they know what they're doing. There is no, on VATSIM, which is a free online ATC environment, the precision, or whatever you want to call it, the experience levels are various. You know, you have some people that are just starting to learn, and then you have people that, like, there's even a PilotEdge controller, I can't think of his name, that still does VATSIM events. Oh look, there's one of my global real world stuff.
Before a 5-shot time departing via Alpha.
Delta.
And remain this frequency, you can cross runway 20
See,
approach.
Doesn't say
yeah,
where.
1399, send advise the Disney for arrival. Advise the flight level 260.
Descend via the Disney for arrival. I'll advise leaving 260, United 1399. Anyway, this is a traffic plugin that I have going just to add more planes to my sim, because the planes within PilotEdge doesn't fly at these high altitudes. So I like this plugin for added stuff. Anyway, let me get back to what you said here. Days open. Instead of working at actual airport, Keith hired them some work at an airport, but then part-time on PE. Yeah, that makes sense. VATSIM, everyone's dog can control. Yeah, they have good training on VATSIM though, in a lot of cases. I gotta catch up on this stuff. I don't need a second flight plan, but let me add in the weather for John Wayne. So 30:01. Temperature 17, 200 at 8. And actually, I'm going to update my wind. All right. I like to get rid of the fog so I can see the ortho.
Oxnard Tower, make left close traffic, runway 25, cleared for takeoff, report midfield each.
Okay. Lower the cabin temperature.
485 shots past gap 4.
Landing altitude for John Wayne's 32, so that matches. Let's grab it. All right. See what I missed here. Again says, from what I heard, FAA doesn't allow moonlighting. The CATs work for Keith. Oh, the CAT ratings. Yeah, it's like VFR training, and then I ratings or IFR training. The FAA at the same time. Some FAA ATC volunteer for events. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Ginnigans. That's really cool. So they volunteer for VATSIM events? Neat. Deso says, if you're descending via an arrival, don't they know when you're going down? Let me answer that before I continue reading, otherwise I'll totally forget. So he told me to descend via the Disney 4 arrival, right? So that doesn't mean I need to descend now. That just says I have permission to descend. So my top of descent is that little mark. So I need to descend in about 15 minutes. So he gave me permission to descend.
TVM 900
If I had gotten to this descend, top of descent, and he hadn't given me permission to descend, then I need to let him know I'm at my top of descent, and then he'll tell me to descend. So,
after departure. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 2053.
Where's... Disney 4. If you're descending via the arrival, don't they know when you're going down? So I need to follow these things down. So once I descend, once I start my descent, then I gotta let them know that I'm descending. When you're on IFR, you have to let them know when you're leaving the last assigned altitude, which we're allowed to go down to. And plus, he told me to report leaving 260. So we're going to go to 4,000. Los Angeles Center, United 1399, leaving 260.
Yeah, 1399, roger.
Alright, so I'll double check that 6,000 here. So we're going to take it all the way down to Disney, so 8,000. Set that for 8,000. At which point we're going to grab the RNAV RNP from Disney. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. So there's Disney. And then 6,000. But we can't descend past 8,000.
21 Alpha, runway 25, clear for the option.
Because we have to hold at 8,000. Actually, let me show you something.
We're 65 Bravo, traffic 11 o'clock, 3 miles northwestbound, 5,500 indicated, has unknown altitude unverified.
So the Disney, actually Disney's 4 a little bit different.
1399, contact Los Angeles Center, 126.35.
12635, United 1399. 126. Three, 5. Los Angeles Center, United 1399, descended via the Disney 4 arrival, leaving for level 245.
Yeah, 1399 Los Angeles Center, runway altimeter 3002.
3002, United 1399.
9000 Hotel Echo, John Wayne Ground, runway 20 right. Taxi via Alpha, Hotel, Charlie, Kilo, cross runway 20
This is a very
left.
short flight, y'all. Sorry I'm not able to do my best to answer these questions. 126.0. 26.0.
002. Arriving and departing runways 20 left, 20 right. ILS runway 20 right approach in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information November.
Alright, November.
John Wayne Airport, ATIS information November. 2012 Zulu. Wind 190 at 8. Visibility 10. Ceiling 3000 broken. Temperature 17. Dew point 8. Altimeter 3002. Arriving and departing runways 20 left, 20 right.
Alright. How much time do I got here? I'm almost at transition altitude, so I'll go back to the thing there. I'm just gonna go ahead and reset that now. It's 3002. Speed brake is out, that's right. Okay. Turn my sounds back up a notch. Alright, looks like I missed a bunch. Let me go back to this. So FAA doesn't allow moonlighting. They can't work for Keith and the FAA at the same time. Oh, that's interesting. Some FAA ATC volunteer for events. Okay, alright, I didn't. Okay.
1399,
jeez.
SoCal approach 135.4.
SoCal 135.4, United 1399. 35.4. Current with November. Yeah.
4316 Papa Whiskey, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
SoCal approach, United 1399, descending via the Disney 4, leaving 17,500, current with November, request RNAV Zulu 20 right from Disney.
November 2 on Alpha, runway 25, clear for the
Knew
option.
I'd step one in, but I wanted to get it out.
Yeah, 1399 SoCal approach, the Ontario altimeter 3002, expect the RNAV Zulu and 20 out approach.
3002, and I can expect the RNAV Zulu 20 right, United 1399. So when he says I can expect what I requested, that doesn't mean I've been approved to fly the approach. So the approach allows me to go below 8,000.
As you have information, Tango at,
as you can see here, I'll lower my MCP this to 1,400 feet. But only after I've been cleared the approach. So until I've been cleared the approach, I can't. See here, I can't go any lower than 8,000 until he clears me. Once he clears me, then I'll lower that to 1,400. And I also need to lower the speed for, let me see, Emily for at least 190, I think. So let me go to Emily.
Ontario altimeter 3002.
And we'll do Emily. I'll type in 190. That will help slow me down. Okay. The ILS for 20 right. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do my best here with chat and flying and talking to ATC. 11175 as a backup. 11175 is ILS with a course of 196. And what is this plane doing? Okay. Why am I going so fast? Disney is at 220. It's like the plane slowed down and sped back up. Should be 280. No, that's. Should be 280. So let's do 280 for Iraq.
Aircraft calling, say again.
I'm not used to having this much chat in my streams. It's a good problem to have. Thanks Ginnigans and everybody for helping out with the chat and DeSoto. And let me see. X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Sim, what's the difference? There's a lot of differences. That could be an entire stream. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, if you are brand new to simming, I would not put a lot of money into X-Plane.
Two one Alpha, runway 25, clear for the option.
But you can also get it good and bad controllers on BatSim. MSF is a crown box spreadsheet flying for the casual. X-Plane is more study and physics correct by default. Yeah, if you're talking about MSF, like the one that's been out for years, X-Plane is definitely superior. But I would definitely look at Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 just to see what they offer when they come out this year. Everything's supposed to be really nice looking, so I'm looking forward to that myself. They are plane makers that do get closer on Microsoft Flight Sim, but you'll have to buy that plane.
Yeah, 1399, you're cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 20 right approach.
Cleared RNAV Zulu 20 right approach, United 1399. Alright, so now we can go down to 1400. Because we're cleared the approach. That's the main thing. And let me change this to 20 right. Zulu from Disney. Just put this up instead. Okay. Both can be fun, both can look good, depends on your end needs and wallet size. Yeah, Deso is very, like, X-Plane, like, this is, everything you see on my stream right now is X-Plane. However, none of it is stock. Nothing you're looking at. My weather, I have Ortho from Fork Boy Ortho that I've downloaded, which is photoreal from Satellite Photoreal. This airplane is a payware aircraft. Obviously the ATC is not X-Plane standard. So this is not what you get when you buy X-Plane. This is like a very bad misrepresentation of what X-Plane looks like. So this is a lot of work to make X-Plane this good. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is going to look like this.
Yeah, 1399, how do you hear?
You're 5x5, United 1399.
Thank you. For the 00 Hotel Echo departure on the frequency.
Both can be fun, both look good, depends on your end needs and wallet size. There has been some that have done both. It's been mentioned on forums before, but don't arrivals usually list altitudes to be at? Yes, so...
Yeah, 1399, count out SoCal approach 128.1.
SoCal 128.1, United 1399. 28. SoCal approach, United 1399, currently 8,300.
United 1399, SoCal approach, John 1 altimeter 3003.
3003, United 1399. John Wayne Tower for 20 rights, 126.80. Get that ready, 126.80. We're at that. Doing SNA20
316 on whiskey, descend past discretion, maintain 3,000.
22 miles away.
Descend past discretion at 3,000 for Centurion.
Follow these waypoints here. Max weight 65 tons, 63.
Correction, past discretion, maintain 4,000.
Maintain 4,000 at past discretion. Centurion 316 Pop Whiskey.
Head over T1 Alpha, runway 25, clear for the option.
Why does that seem really, really low? $42. 6,000, yeah. Seems like I'm super low. Trust the approach, trust the approach. Alright, we'll turn on our landing lights. Or at least get ready to. Seatbelts are on.
So-called DBM 900 Hotel Echo.
0 Hotel Echo, go ahead.
Requesting full view of the DME Bravo approach at Catalina, and we have information.
So the final approach fix is 1,400 meters, right? Missed approach will climb to 3,000 on 196. 3,000.
127.4.
And I'm going to answer these questions, y'all. Just hang with me.
2,500.
Dayso says, don't arrivals usually list the altitudes to be at? Yes. So let me go back to that. So this arrival is what we were following, right? So that means above flight level 200. If the line is underneath, that means you can be at any altitude above what the line says. If the line is both above and below, that means you got to cross Aspen at 14,000 feet. Not above or below, but at 14,000 because of these mountains. At Caden, you can be under 13,000, and then at E-Rock above 12, and then at whatever that is, below 11,000. And then Disney, which was the last waypoint on our arrival, because that's where we pick up this RNAV. So 8,000 at Disney, and then the RNAV will follow these altitudes all the way down to the final approach fix, which is ZTOF at 1,400.
At ZTOF, contact Tower 126.8.
At ZTOF, Tower 126.8, United 1399.
Number 6465 Bravo, set to maintain 4,000.
Set to maintain 4,000.
But that's why those altitudes are such that they are. So let me do laps in gear. I know it's going to yell at me for a second. Help me descend faster. Seatbelts on. Lights on. Auto brakes low. And flaps 3.
$2,500. 2,500. 1,500.
SoCal 6, Charlie Bravo, 84 on beach.
So arm approach mode.
2-1 Alpha, runway 25, clear for the option.
268 winds. So then after we get to our final approach,
646 Charlie Bravo, contact SoCal approach, 128.1.
128.1, 6 Charlie Bravo.
that
Ground 00 Hotel Echo, traffic alert, 12 o'clock, 1 mile opposite direction, 3,600 indicated, type of none out to them, verified, peers of passengers off your left side. So if you look at that traffic, just went behind you, so he's going to be no factor.
John Wayne Tower, United 1399, RNAV 20 right.
Yeah, 1399, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 2206.
20 right, clear land, United 1399.
646 Charlie Bravo, SoCal approach, John 1 altimeter 3003,
So
advise
bump this up
uniform,
to 3,000.
30 approach.
Do that after the final approach fix for an RNAV, otherwise it will mess up your descent. And we are ready to land.
Fly present heading, but here's the final.
There was a lot of checklists I had to go through and try to keep up with chat and talk to ATC. That's more difficult than I thought. Anyway, I will cover these questions once I get on the ground. I need a co-pilot.
Oxnard Tower, can 21 Alpha right close traffic after this session go?
21 Alpha, make right close traffic on the go, report visibility each time.
Right, make right traffic, report midfield each time, 21 Alpha.
400, 100 above. Minimum 300.
Autopilot off, right lane. Winds are right down the runway, so we're good.
200.
Number 6 Upper Whiskey, you have us on the ILS approach.
100. 50.
Number 6 Upper Whiskey, if you're off course and not established on the approach, I gave you the approach clearance for the ILS at mid.
4,000
and it appears that you're off
feet
course. Please advise.
remaining. 3,000 remaining.
Whiskey, it appears that you're off course in the ILS after mid. You're supposed to fly heading 255 and join a localizer to Lustig, and it appears that you're right now on about a 290 heading.
$100 remaining.
100? No, there's not.
Whiskey, no, give vectors to final and fix it from here. Cancel approach clearance. Fly heading 220. This will be vectors to final.
John Wayne Tower, United 1399 off the runway, looking for terminal.
Yeah, 1399, taxi ramp Alpha.
Ramp via Alpha, United 1392. Alright, so let's taxi up here, see if we can find a gate.
Number 316 Upper Whiskey, descend and maintain 2000. This will be vectors through the localizer.
Turn these things off.
6 Upper Whiskey, descend and maintain 2000.
Alright, finally, I think I have enough break that I can look at the chat and try to answer some questions. So I think I answered pretty, at least well enough on the the altitudes on a star, which otherwise known as the arrivals.
Approaching 02 right.
21 Alpha, runway 25, clear for the option.
Alright.
Runway
So he
25,
should
clear for
know
the option.
that
21
by X point you'll need to be there by that point.
316 Papa Whiskey.
Yes, Deso. So
Turn left,
when the
130.
controller cleared me to descend via the, what is this, the Disney 4 arrival, he was making sure that I met those altitude and or speed restrictions all the way down on the arrival. So if I was like super low, I mean low is more dangerous than high, you know, so if I was low, he would have said something, or he would have said you're in violation of the arrival restrictions. So yes, he does know. That's the whole purpose of an arrival, is that they don't need to vector you, they don't need to descend you, they just tell you to descend. And I just heard something land. Oh, he's taking off. Okay. There he goes.
Number 316 Papa Whiskey, turn left heading 330.
But so he knows that the arrivals are so they don't have to vector and descend aircraft into a terminal. So they just say descend via, and then they can like kind of take care of other things because they know that you're supposed to abide by the arrival. And I'm going to come up here to United. Matter of fact, I might just boot the United that's sitting there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to boot this guy out of the gate. Be like, see ya. Had to make sure. So this is a cool program that when I turn in, this plane will disappear.
465 Bravo to maintain 3000.
So I'm gonna substitute one United for another United. So he will disappear. See, he disappeared.
Number 316 Papa Whiskey, 6 miles.
Which is pretty cool. So you always have your choice of gate. And plus the the CSLs tell you where to really, if you're flying United, kind of give you an idea of where to park. Just find a United aircraft and park right there. APU is verified on, engines off.
November 6 Papa Whiskey, 6 miles from Gunny, heading
Turn
330.
off all this stuff.
Maintain 2000 till established localizer, cleared ILS, runway 30 approach.
Do chops, open the door. Squawk standby. I left the door open. That wasn't. At least I shut the window. I was rushing earlier. So do fuel pumps off.
TVM 0 Hotel Echo, no traffic observed between you and the airport. Report IFR cancellation or missed approach on this frequency. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Yeah, we'll sign off. Sign off line. Cruise supply, oxygen. Turn that off. Anyway, my gosh, I don't think I've ever had this much discussion in my chat before. What we got here? It's a busy airport. Oh, jeez. This is a custom airport, custom payware airport, so it's not stock X-plane. All right. Ginnigan says, I've seen that just when their controllers are in Twitch, the ones I talked to said they were just highly trained. A few knew Keith from when he used to be on VATSIM. Keith was on VATSIM? As a controller, Ginnigan's? I never knew that. But I haven't talked to all the PE controllers, so it's possible. I mean, they can't control real world now, but maybe they did in the past. And Rogue Commandant says, is this a good starting point? Let me see that link. That's pretty cool. That's a good bundle. Well, let me ask you, Rogue Commandant, that's not a bad deal, that SATEC pedal yoke X-Plane 11 bundle. That's not bad. But the thing is, I would look for a bundle, like when you buy a sim, it's an investment. You're going to dump so much freaking money into it that I would seriously try to get into like maybe the alpha or the beta builds of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So many people are going to be moving to that. Now, if you want to get your feet wet, then that's fine. I mean, that's a good bundle, and there's nothing wrong with X-Plane, but I'll have to do some plane watching, right? But Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, look up those videos. It's incredible what they're going to be able to do. PE is really good. That's why I pay for it. I can't say that for sure. Deso says, I start with a Chiefs joystick over a HOTAS. Yeah, gives you the ability to try helicopters too. That's a good point. Joystick over a flight yoke. Yeah, here's the other issue with flight yokes, which I love my yoke, but it takes up a lot of real estate. For streamers, you know, if I had a stick before, I still have it for my Hornet, but it takes up so much room, these yokes, and you can't really, I mean, it's a pain in the butt to remove it. So a stick is actually a really good idea to just start, and plus, like the Airbus I was just flying is flown with a stick, so it wouldn't be crazy to see that. But if you want to get into GA flying, then I would definitely go with a yoke if you're going to stick with that, because the way the airplane behaves with a yoke is totally different axis-wise than a stick. A stick is way easier than a yoke. So it's a different way to train your brain on how to you know, steer an airplane within a yoke than a stick. I personally fly with the X55 HOTAS now. Takes less space, allows me to switch to other games, and works for all aircraft. That was just basically what I was saying. Yeah, I'm going to be buying that myself. The X50, I think it's the X55. Let me see, Amazon. No, I'm going to be getting the X56, the Logitech X56. That's going to be my next stick because I want it for the all the buttons for the Hornet. Rogue Commandant says, I'm currently trying to get my IR, so I think a yoke would probably be the best option. Yeah, I agree with that. If you're trying to fly GA stuff, then a yoke, you want to learn how to control the airplane with the yoke, because it's totally different than a stick. It was a learning curve. When I went from a stick to a yoke, it was weird, but I got it figured out. Let me see. Ginnigan says, I'm going to keep flying X-Plane, but definitely will try Microsoft Flight Sim. Yeah, me too. I love that X-Plane has Plane Maker and World Maker. Yeah, I'm going to be downloading WED so I can adjust some of my airports like Vegas, for instance, just so the active runways would be more in tune with how PilotEdge handles it. So you have a lot of different things you can do in X-Plane. Deso says, the thing with MSF's 2020 is that you'll have no plane variety, always way too many bugs on a release of any software. Very true. And it'll require much more hardware network capability. Isn't planned out well, so scenery streaming won't be much better, so just don't have the network set up in the country. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Deso says Microsoft 20 will catch up in a variety, but I don't trust the internet to stream scenery. That's going to be interesting to see how they handle that for sure. It has a fallback mode. Will be interesting to see what that looks like. In the end, I personally will not allow Apple nor Windows products in my house on any of my computers. I know they're the altitudes. My question was more, why does ATC not know where you'll descend when the chart shows it? They know the traffic lanes better than us, so they should know approximately where you'll start via deductive reasoning. Obviously, if you're going to descend well before then it's understandable. Well, he gave me permission to descend via the Disney 4 before my top of descent, so he knew I was getting close. Like, I was only, what, 20 miles away when he gave me permission to descend. So it's better to give me permission to descend than to wait until I'm right at my top of descent. What if he was dealing with an emergency situation? Now I'm stuck at flight level 260 and not able to descend until I have clearance to descend. So he gave me permission to descend via the Disney 4 while I was at flight level 260, 20 miles away from my top of descent. Only thing that meant was I needed to tell him no at the earliest convenience when I left flight level 260. So when I got to my top of descent, I could descend on my own and then just let him know. So that's why they let you know ahead of time the permission to descend. They don't care about top of descent. They know approximately when you would need to descend, so they try to give you the authorization to descend, 15, 20 miles before your top of descent, just so you don't have to, wait on them to give you that permission. So you never want to descend without permission. So if they tell you to descend 30 miles before your top of descent, then you just wait until your top of descent, unless they give you a specific instruction to descend right now. A lot of times you'll hear them say, descend and maintain at pilot discretion, maintain flight level 240, or whatever the case may be. Same thing applies there, pilot discretion. That just means I can continue at whatever flight level I'm at, and I can descend when the FMC says I'm at my top of descent. So that's why they do that, if that makes any sense at all. Plugin costs extra on X-Plane? Oh my God. Yeah, pretty much everything costs extra on X-Plane. Like, you're going to spend $60 and you're going to get some really decent stuff for X-Plane. But there's so much more, and everything costs, like, the nickel and dime you to death. It's truly an investment, but it's a worthwhile investment. If you're trying to get your ratings and you're trying to learn airspace and you're trying to learn proper ATC phraseologies and stuff like that, then you definitely want to get, no matter what sim you use, you want PilotEdge, in my opinion, because it's the best learning environment. And they go a little over the top about, the languages and how people talk, and some, real world phraseology that people use, they don't like you to use in PilotEdge because they want you to walk away with a black and white understanding of how the terminology should be. But in the real world, they say things a little bit different, and I understand that. But PilotEdge is made for teaching, And I haven't seen any airplanes. Oh, here comes one. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of free scenery, free planes. There's a bunch of free everything. If you go to the org, Road Commander, you can go to the org, the xplane.org, and you can just find a bunch of free stuff, scenery and everything. And all this ortho scenery that you're looking at, all this stuff out here is totally free. Just search Fork Boys Ortho. What do you mean you make it yourself? You make it using Ortho XP. I'll download the images. It's funny how they land before the thing, but I'll take it. Like the reversers and everything pops up, the flaps. I don't have to worry about editing this airport. Seems to work okay. What do you mean you make it yourself? You make the Ortho XP, download the images and build the mesh on your computer. Or you can go to Fork Boys. Here, I'll link that. I'll show you where I go to get my ortho. It's totally free. And it's very good. And he does all the hard work for you. It's already done. You need overlays and everything. But you really don't want to mess with this stuff until you have a better understanding of X-Plane. Because it can get pretty confusing. Baby steps with X-Plane. Road Command, it says you'll be ordering that bundle next week. Can't wait to use this to supplement my training. You got it. Thank you. Oh, no problem. Ortho photo is generally too big to host for download. Some of my first degree squares is... Oh. Yeah, ortho is very... I have an entire SSD drive for ortho. How will MSS 2020 be compared to real life? I mean, just look at the videos, man. It's unbelievable what it's going to look like. Like if you buy X-Plane, which is, you know, I love X-Plane. If you buy it, don't buy a lot of add-ons for it, you know. Just buy it to get your feet wet, start practicing, subscribe to PilotEdge, and just use X-Plane for the ATC, you know, and just get all the free stuff. Because Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is going to be it's the next generation of flight sim. So X-Plane's great right now. It's the top of the line, but they're going to have a hard time with visuals. Looks cartoonish, Gunnigan says. But it is pretty realistic looking, especially the clouds and the shadows. Deso, I meant with him asking for you telling him when you're leaving 260. I meant with him asking for you telling him when you were leaving 26. So I told him I was leaving 260 because it was my last assigned altitude. Whenever you leave an assigned altitude, you got to let him know unless you leave right at the time that he clears you to descend. Whenever you change, if you're under IFR, yeah, whenever you change, you got to let him know after you have permission to do so, if that makes sense. Most MFS plugins cost much more than XP11. That's true. Look at how you have to buy all ortho and Microsoft Flight Sim, but it's free in XP11. But see, you're confusing, I don't know, maybe you're not confusing, but I don't have Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. There's like Microsoft Flight Simulator X or something that's been out for years. I don't have that. I'm strictly X-Plane, so I don't know anything about the older versions of Microsoft Flight Sim. Fork Boys doesn't allow you to customize it though. All right, that's true. But I don't care. For me, I didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to download it and use it, and Fork Boys allowed me to do that. So you could take a block of Fork Boys and substitute it out with your own if you wanted. Ginnigan says, it did Fork Boy because honestly it's just less work to use his stuff. I agree. The tiles I did myself don't look as good, and it's free. And Deso says, the other thing to remember about Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 is all the imagery made now, the videos, etc. are pre-made scenarios. I bet money that the actual outcome won't add up for numerous reasons. That could be. But I do have trouble with seasons across lines, so I had to need around this source. So with Fork Boys Ortho, and there's other orthos, there's a winterizer plugin or a winterizer program that you can use. And I've done videos where I've flown in winter, and then there's the SAM plugin, which has seasons, fall, spring, winter. So there's just so many things that you can do with X-Plane. Yeah, it goes to United. He hit the ground hard. Yeah. And the seasons ones that I've seen is Windows only, yes. So the SAM season is Windows only. Same thing with this traffic plugin you're looking at right now. It's from Just Flight. It's Just Flight Global Traffic. And all the reviews, I mean, I just got it yesterday. I've been waiting for, for them to get all the bugs out. But I'm happy with it. But this is Windows only as well. So there's quite a few plugins that are Windows specific, but when it comes to my gaming computer, I'm pretty much Windows all the way, Windows 10 Pro. And then for my laptops, I go with Chromebook just for the ease of it. So I'm going to go take my break. I've been sitting here a while. It took me twice to get the plane started because of that little steering issue. But did I answer everybody's questions about the stars and the top of descent? Deso, did I explain that to where we're on the same page with when to descend and the ATC guy, or do you still have a question on that before I go? Looks like the next arrival is not to 22:25. Wow. Departures is not till 15:25. So this guy's United. Oh, he's the one that just landed. 11:24. So this guy came from San Francisco, but he's going to leave and go to Houston at 15:25, the same guy. That's cool. Yes, you did, Chase. Thank you very much. Rogue Command. Oh, I'm glad I answered your questions too. I'm glad. Deso says, I knew about the rules with it. Done IFR before, just never understood the decisions behind the rules. Some seem to be pointless. Now, all the rules make sense if you understand the whole big picture of it. But if you don't have the full picture, then it can be confusing at times. So yeah, cool. Well, guys, I'm gonna go take a break. My back can only handle this chair for so long. I need to go use my heating pad. I'm really liking this Traffic Global. It's really cool. Alright guys, well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be back. I normally stream 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, most days. And this Saturday, I'll be streaming my DCS F-18 Hornet mission with two of my friends will be joining me for that. If anybody wants to fly in the DCS mission, let me know, and we will get you on board. That's Saturday, starting at 1 Eastern Time, and that flying I do in VR. And you guys don't forget to hit that follow button if you haven't done so. That way you'll be alerted when I go live, and we can ask the questions. I was like, that plane looks familiar. Duh. I'll kill the stream once he parks. Alright guys, you have a good afternoon, and if you stream Monday, I might be able to join, guide it off, give you some traffic. Yeah, bud. Yeah, I'll be around Monday for sure. I didn't stream yesterday because I was so tired, couldn't think right. But yeah, I'll definitely be around next Monday, so I'll catch you then. Y'all take care. Chase out.
Center 50 Charlie Golden, going to take the Alpha to the ground.